What do you do when things go wrong? When all of a sudden you're not getting a signal from that camera, when your electric guitar goes silent, when your lights start just flashing randomly? Do you start pushing buttons or pulling and unplugging cables, or do you freeze and just look around hoping that it's gonna start working all of a sudden, or somebody else is gonna pipe up and say something? Troubleshooting problems is a super important skill to have in church production, but also, everywhere in life, right? Because things are going to go wrong. Even the best laid plans are going to have issues sometimes, and so how we respond to them is super important. One, to make sure that things actually keep going and we don't get stuck where we are, but two, to inspire confidence in the team around you and make sure that this problem doesn't cause an even bigger problem because of the way you responded to it. So if this is something that you feel like you struggle with, I have 5 steps that I follow every time a problem comes up, I try to follow them every time a problem comes up. And they're super easy. So I just want to share them with you, and hopefully it can help you the next time you run into an issue. Step number 1, just stop. Now don't freeze. We're not freezing and hoping that somebody else takes the reins and covers everything. No, instead we're stopping in order to actually take stock of what's going on, right? We can't accurately diagnose and solve a problem unless we actually know what the full problem is. Now some things are super obvious, right? All of a sudden your pastor walks out on stage and his mic isn't working. Well, if you know you forgot to unmute it, that's on you. You don't need to freeze for that. Just go ahead and unmute it in that moment and hope he doesn't call you out from the stage. But if it's something unexpected, a camera goes black, just take a second, breathe, stop. We don't want to just start guessing at what the problem might be and making changes based off of that for a couple of reasons. 1, you might actually make things worse. Or 2, you might accidentally solve the problem in a way that doesn't actually fix the root issue and is going to create farther problems down the line. We need to fully take stock of the situation. If you're hearing the problem secondhand from somebody, you need to ask a lot of questions, figure out exactly what it is that happened. Or if you can, even better, go and actually experience the problem yourself. So a really common one that I hear is there's somebody on stage and they say all of a sudden their in-ears aren't working anymore. Well, that can mean a ton of different things. And so really you need to take that moment and you need to ask a lot of questions. Maybe not a lot of questions, but targeted questions. You need to say, okay, what does that mean? Are they completely silent? Is there static? Did certain things just drop out of it? Figure out what the actual root of the issue is. People don't always use the right words to describe the problem they're having, and so it's up to us to actually suss it out. Once you have a good idea of what the problem actually is, then you need to start figuring out what may be changed leading up to this issue. Most of the time, we don't run into problems when things are just humming along smoothly. Usually something changed. Now, that's not always the case, but it's great to be able to say, oh, well, as soon as that guitarist plugged in, everything went kaput. Okay, well, we know that might be a good place to start looking. So that's step number 1, stop and take stock of everything that's going on. Number 2, now that we actually have an idea of what's going on, let's isolate the problem. If we've got a camera feed that suddenly went black, well, there could be a number of things there. It could be the actual cable. It could be connectors on the ends of the cable. It could be the camera itself. It could be the signal path. Maybe the camera feeds into a monitor that then feeds you. Or maybe it feeds into a wireless system. Maybe it goes to a video router and then comes to your switcher. We need to figure out the exact place in any given signal flow in order to actually isolate that problem to find the specific thing that's wrong. If that video feed went black, I could just replace everything, the cable, the camera, everything, and yeah, it'd probably work again. But obviously we don't want to do that. So we need to figure out exactly where it is in that line. Sometimes it's really obvious, maybe the camera just got turned off. Okay, that's kind of silly, but that's super easy, right? The problem was with the camera in this case. But if we're not sure, we can maybe take that camera and go plug it into a known working cable where we're getting a signal. If that still doesn't work, well, now we actually know that the problem is with her camera itself, not with the cable run in between your switcher and the camera. As you start whittling things down like this, you get closer and closer to what that problem actually is. And the more you can isolate it, 1, the more you can figure out the actual root cause and what's going on, but 2, you can get any kind of distracting factors out of the way. You don't have people questioning, well, is it this, because we actually know it's contained to this one small section. We need to isolate the problem in order to actually solve it. Now, once we've actually isolated the problem, it's time to actually fix it. And there are a couple ways that you can do this. Sometimes it might just be a Band-Aid fix. Maybe service is about to start, and so you don't really have time to actually solve it the right way. Sometimes it's the middle of the week and you're finding this issue and it's, okay, well, let's take a minute and let's actually solve this the correct way. If, for example, we had a vocalist on stage and we weren't getting a signal from their mic, and you had an extra mic off stage that's all plugged in and stuff, maybe we just give them that one for the day and we just bypass this altogether so we can punt it down the line. This is a Band-Aid fix. Doesn't actually solve the root cause, but it gets us moving today. The second option is, okay, well, let's actually identify what we can do to fix this now. If we determine that the problem is with the actual cable run because we've isolated that, okay, well, now we need to actually run a new cable from A to B to the mic in order to get things working again. And if we have time to do that, awesome. We can do that and then know that this problem is actually solved completely, check it off the list, we're done. But sometimes a Band-Aid is all you can really do in the moment. This step is determining which of those fixes can we actually apply here and making sure that that happens. And if you do apply the Band-Aid fix, it's making sure that you write down and actually perform the real fix later on. We don't want to leave these things lingering so that somebody else just has to know about it or deal with it later. That's really only hurting our future selves, so let's try not to do that. Step number 4, prepare and prevent. A lot of mistakes happen because we're not actually completely prepared for the situation. Yeah, maybe we're not getting signal in this thing because, well, we didn't have a good patch sheet, and so things got plugged in the wrong places. Maybe our lights went haywire because we didn't set up our DMX addresses right because nobody actually wrote them down. Those transitions weren't smooth because we didn't actually have a good service order that everybody was following. You know, there's so many ways that we can prepare things to make sure that we don't have problems in the future. And a lot of that just comes down to having something written down, an actual document that everybody can reference to be on the same page. And look, this is not going to solve every problem. There are things that still sneak through even when you're super prepared, but you will cut down on a lot of the issues that we see if you simply take some easy steps ahead of time. Another way to be prepared is to actually document the problems that you have and how to fix them. That way, in case you're not the person there on a given Sunday when you have an actual issue, somebody can look at it and say, oh, we've seen this issue before and this is how you fix it. Hopefully those are things that you can actually stop from happening in the future if it's enough that you can document it, but it's still good to have a running list of those things. That way you don't have to start from ground zero every time for those more complicated issues. Okay, and step number 5 is actually kind of a short circuit of this entire situation. If it's a minute before service and something isn't working, you do whatever you can to actually solve that problem right then and there. You may not stop and figure it out. Instead, you might just replace the whole thing. For example, a couple weeks ago, I was out of town and my volunteer video director called me in a panic saying, hey, we're not getting a signal in this feed. I don't know what's going on. None of the buttons are responding. I asked a couple of questions, didn't know what was happening, and I said, all right, pull the power and plug it back in. That is not an elegant solution. And to this day, I still don't know what the actual problem was. But in that moment, I made a judgment call of this has to be fixed right now. It is a minute before service and we need this to work. And after he pulled the power and put it back in, everything worked. I don't recommend that most times, but sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do. Look, try to follow a good process, try to take your time and solve the issue, but in a pinch, just do the thing that works. Still try to gather as much information as you can while it's happening, but just make it happen. At the end of the day, we're here to support what's happening, and we can't do that if we're spending all of our time just troubleshooting. Now, this is not a get out of jail free card. Most of the time, you should really figure out the root cause and fix it the right way. But sometimes we just have to fix something in the moment. It's gotta be quick and dirty, and we just have to get it done. And the more we prepare, the less often that has to happen. So hey, I hope those 5 steps helped you. Just as a recap, it's stop. Take stock of what's going on. Number 2, isolate the problem. Number 3, fix it. Number 4, prepare. And number 5, scrap all that and just fix it right now. I hope that helps you troubleshooting any problems you might have in the future. Hopefully you don't have too many of them, but if you do, I hope you're able to go into it with a little bit more of a level head and confidence that you're gonna get it fixed the right way. Until next time.